Kronies? Hope everyone's doing well and having a fun, safe day out there, making some money, dudes. You know what I'm saying? Wow, I'm sorry, guys. It's just been a morning already, so I'm up in Grand Prairie doing another out of town job, and just more shit show after shit show. But here, the dealio is I'm doing this double layer drywall. The last video I did on double layer drywall, in all double layer drywall videos I seem to have is people are confused about how steel stud works, and it shows in the chat, right? I want to show you guys a couple things. Very important to set the record straight. There's literally only one way to do this, boys, okay? The way to do it is, number one, listen to the person who's paying you on how they want it first, okay? But as a professional drywaller, you should know how it's supposed to be done. You can see behind me here? That's not how we do it. Okay? We do not lay down drywall on metal stud, period. Okay? The only time we're doing laydowns in metal stud is when we say you can't get the sheet of drywall in a closet or something like that, or blah, blah, blah. Okay, we can lay down some stuff. Bathrooms where there's lots of plumbing, or plumbing walls where the studs might shift and change and the 48s don't land, then we can do laydowns, okay? There's no question. If the 48s don't land, automatically switch to laydowns, okay? So that's how we do it. Stand-ups. Steel stud is designed for stand-ups, okay? And when we're doing double layer, okay, you have to stagger your seams. On this wall itself, okay, I've staggered them 3 different ways, from front to back, and the 16s don't land on the, here, let me turn the camera around here. Boom. Okay, so you can see right here, okay, the 16s, I just staggered them by 1/16 of an inch. That's all you need, okay? I always start in the wall or whatever. The first layer, you can be a little loose with it. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? But if you just laser up your first sheet on both layers, then laser up your top, one top, everything will go much smoother though, okay? Just to let you know. But even me, like by the end of this wall here, this second layer, or the first layer was just way out to shit, right? But the first layer or second layer is mint. But you can see the staggered, okay? I start my first layer with a 6-inch strip along the bottom, okay? That gives me the 6-inch separation, okay? Difference. Stand-ups, you want your seams to land at the same level, guys, okay? You got to understand something, okay? On a butt joint, it's a wide, to tape it, it takes a lot of, like, it's wide, okay? It's like, it could be like 2 feet wide, okay? We'll say. You don't need that. You don't want to have that staggered like this, okay? Because it's going to make that joint way wider, and it's going to take a lot more time and material to do it, yes, okay? But just one straight taping joint, that's not going to crack, okay? That's how steel studs are designed. The deflection in the track allows the whole system to move, guys. When you keep your screws, when you're drywalling, you've got to keep your drywall screws 3/4 of an inch below, like 3/4 of an inch to an inch. An inch is recommended below the slot track. Up in the tops right there, I'm using pieces of, like 1-foot pieces of backing, okay, of 3 5/8 stud, metal stud on the seams, okay, so that the tops are tied together. It's strong enough, it allows for deflection, and you're not going to get any cracking, okay? The fire rating for metal stud, it specifies you have to stand your sheets up. That's how steel stud works. That's how it's designed. That's why it's a better system than wood, okay? These guys, like, you can see the difference, okay? Look at all that. Look at all this, right? Like all this stuff, okay? That's laydowns. You're not supposed to do that, okay? I see this once in a while, okay? Not very often anymore, but I still see it. Like, I'm still seeing it right now in front of me. And to mention, when you do laydowns, you have to stagger your seams at minimum 32 inches. Not 16. This is 16 inches. Again, it's going to be a huge wide joint here, right? It's ridiculous. You have to come back 32 inches minimum, okay? 48 is better, okay? You need to stagger it this much, okay? Staggering it on 16 inches like that is so stupid, so amateur. And I don't even know why you would want to lay it down. It's harder. It's harder. It's so So stupid, okay? So I just wanted to show you guys the difference, okay? The laydowns, like this is like you can see here, like this guy is staggered his joints like doot doot doot, right? Like it's crazy. And what like then there's a piece here, right? It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So when you see the difference on my tape job, when I'm taped and I'm finished here, I'll show you and you'll see what I mean, okay? But it's not gonna crack, dudes, okay? It's just such a misconception, and I had to set the record straight. Okay, I no more arguing in the chat comments of it, because you guys who say to lay down your sheets, you're wrong. You guys who say to stagger where your tops land, you're wrong. Okay, you're 100% wrong. It's about time you learn the right way. Okay, settle. This is the only way to do stand-ups. All right, so I'm also using backing up in the tops where the cutouts are. You can see I'm working by myself here, okay? My 6-inch strip on the first layer is on the bottom. That's why my sheets are above 6 inches. I'm staying a ½ inch off the floor always, right? And so I have all my numbers. My sheets are pre-cut. I cut all my tops, all of them, and then I do them, okay? That way, when I'm up there, I'm doing both at the same time, right? Two, like I'm taking the numbers for both layers, and I'm putting both layers on as I go. Okay, I went this way with the bottoms, and I'm going backwards with the tops. So it just worked out that way for me. So these are like 8-foot tops. They're pretty big tops. Okay, like 80, we'll say 82 inches. So a 3-step bench here on for the lift. I'm putting the sheet up on it. The top, sorry. So when I go up on the lift, it's very easy for me to lift up. If you just try to pull them from like the bottom, like from like them sitting on the bottom, man, it's gonna be a long day for you guys. Okay, just put a 3-step, and you put your top on there, and it's way easier. You just pull it up, put it on your foot, okay, and you control, and you hold it with one hand, and you control your lift with the other. Simple as that. But yeah, so this is interesting, this wall, because you can see the other side, like, oh my God, there's actually quite a bit of cuts and cutting and messing around up there, and they're quite big tops. I mean, I've done walls where we do 12-foot, 12-foot, and 8-foot, okay, stand-ups. The seams always line up, okay, on every layer. So even if this was a 10-foot top, you would land it all at the same, so that the taping joint, one. And then you would put your top on or whatever, okay? Don't stagger these, okay? It's not the way it's done, right? There's deflection with that slot track. When you're screwing in your studs and you're putting your screw basically like in the middle of that slot so that your deflection can go both ways, up and down. Think about that. Remember, it goes up and down, all right? And then when you're drywalling, you stay 1 inch below the slot with your top screws. Okay, that's simple as that. As long as you have you're conscious with deflection, everything is going to work just fine. Okay, and you're a ½ inch off the floor. Okay, ½ inch off the floor, and you come down 3/4 of an inch with your tops. Okay, so you measure tight, and then you take 3/4 off, right? And then at the end of the day, the fire stop guys come in and they stuff the flutes with the rock salt, boop, 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 and then fire cock it or fire spray it, whatever they do, whichever one they want to do. You can kind of see right there, that red spray right there is the fire spray. So that's how it's done, boys. Well, I don't know, did I miss any chats? I've just been rambling. Hey, Lemon, what's up, man? Lemon 188, good to see you, I know. And that's just it. And I appreciate the likes, guys. You guys are the best. Thank you for hitting the like button for me. Yeah, so like I'm saying, I just keep organized, right? I label my sheets, I draw my centers, as I'm cutting, it just seems more logical. My screws are every 1 foot in the bevel, 16 inch in the field, 4 in the bottom, 4 in the bottom in this process. So I always come in, you see I come in from the edges of the bevel, and then you come in 1 inch of the 16s, and you stay away from the corners. So in the corners here, okay, this screw will be here. I'm going to put another one. Last screw here will be about right there. Okay, I'd never put a screw close to the corners anywhere. You can see my ½ inch. I stopped right behind here. So when they drywall this, it just pops in there. Done. Okay, there's lots of backing in there for them. All good. I didn't want to extend. Whoa! I didn't want. Sorry, I just tripped over the strap. Oh, look! Check out this new knife I got, guys. A Drywall 10-inch knife, dudes. Stainless steel 10-inch Drywall. I didn't know Drywall made knives. I'm excited to use this because I love the handle. Okay, so I use a 10-inch a lot when I'm doing my final coating. I use a 10-inch a lot. So this, like, to load especially. Okay, this is because it fits the pan nice, and then I pull out my 14 or my 12, right? But yeah, this is a good knife. I'm excited to try this one out, man. Woohoo! But I didn't know Drywall. So shout out FBM, Foundation Building Materials. That's how that's at. So if I go to the chat, how do I boom? Oh, you know what? I should pin. I gotta remember it. I got my shirt and the hat. Let's. Let's pin that for now. But yeah. So you can see I got the merch store is up. Kronies.store, guys. So this is the hat. It's so really comfortable. It contains the sweat and it's easily washable, which is great. This shirt as well. I've worn this now I've worn this 3 times at work now. This one. And yeah, it's super strong, comfortable. It's actually great. So I'm pretty happy with the clothing line that we're starting to release. Well, I'm starting to release. I have 5 shirts and 1 hat so far. So I'd love to hear your opinions, guys. But that's Kronies.store. Gotta check that out. I'm gonna have a launch soon, discount codes, all that stuff. But have a check it out, see what's on there, and please give me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you guys what you think. So yeah, if there's any questions about the drywall, please let me know. I'm gonna turn the camera around now after that little plug. Yeah, get it all stood up, and do like, even when I do my bottoms, I get everything stood up, and I get my first 3 sheets or 2 sheets, and then I put the second layer on. So I'm going boop, 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 doing both layers as I go, fixing any stud work. Like, if you get the first side of this wall perfect with your sheets all landing and stuff, okay, the second side should be a breeze. It should be way easier because then you got everything set properly. The problem with drywall is every size, 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot, they're small. Like, there's a difference between width, meaning like the sheets are wider. Okay, so I think 12s are wider than 8s. So by the time you get, in theory, what you should be doing when you're framing is inching your studs like 1/16 ahead every stud. Okay, like the centers should be inching a bit, to account for the type of stand-up, like the 12-foot stand-ups or whatever. But with you know what I mean? Like, that's the problem, is the different widths. So when you're doing your stand-ups, I always start my first drop piece of drywall a little bit to the right or the left, like to the soft side. Okay, I started a little bit like more on the soft side, so that it kind of, by the time I'm done a 30-foot wall like this, or sorry, this is a 40-foot wall, I'm like a little bit over on the hard side, and I can get this, and I can still get both sides of my bevel screwed in. Okay, but yeah, it's sometimes a super pain in the butt. But it's simple, guys. So yeah, I picked up the rest of the R12 just now. So I am going to stuff the top of the beam there with R12. The wall is R14 Roxol, sorry, and the walls are R22.5, which is the R20 equivalent of Roxol. It has a higher R rating, so that's why it's the R22.5, and then the R12, it was R14. So, but yeah, when you order insulation, you have to specify wood or steel, and you're like 16-inch on center or 2 foot on center. That's just how it goes, guys. So for tops, like I'm saying, you see how I like these hats. Here, let me just take you up these angles. I'm just going to take you up for a second to show you this quickness. All right. Boop, 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 boom. All right. All right. So with these hats here, what I'm doing is I'm measuring left to right on this one, or right, or other way, whichever way you're going, doesn't matter. I'm only getting this number and this number, okay? The side to side and the bottom to top. I can see which direction the angles are. So when I'm on the ground, I draw my box, okay? And then I just boop, boop, I just draw the L, okay? Guesswork, it always fits, I never have a problem. Same thing, right? Just get the side to side and the bottom to bottom. and then take note of which way the angle goes. So when you have your box on the ground, you just draw it yourself. Okay, you don't want to sit here all day taking this number, this number, this number, this number, this number, this number, right? It saves 2 numbers on each angle, which is 4 numbers per cut, like per angle. So that's quite considerable after, in a certain amount of time, okay, like in a certain wall. I do it on both layers just because of the taping thing, okay? So if I have to fire cock it or tape it, it's tight, okay? Hey, Dan, I appreciate you, man. Right on, dude. I appreciate that. There is backing behind here. Okay, I've put backing in here. I always put backing back here, unless there's like unless it's framed, like there's actual steel stud, then you don't have to. But you can get nice tight cuts when you have if you don't have steel studs up here. I put backing on the first joint. 7 and a backwards 7. Yeah, exactly. Yes, Dan. Yeah, exactly. Right. So I'll put 1 foot of backing in here. This is usually a 2-foot beam. Okay. Unfortunately, like you can't really reach behind and put backing in for these, but it's fine. Like this high, guys, you get the 1 screw in here. These joints are solid, right? So that's how that goes. Yeah, and then drawing below, okay? Like I'm drawing the steel always, and you can see how the studs are in a bit different spot. Always measure your studs when you have to do cutouts, and so you know exactly where the proper center is. And then, yeah, you sometimes you get creative with your cutouts, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? On the first layer, right, the bevel would have been around here, so it would have been like a smaller piece, and then second layer here. But it's super easy to tape this way. Right, you just tape it, coat it, done. Right, and then like I was saying, when you cut tight on both layers, the fire cocker can, or if you tape it or whatever, it can get nice and tight. It saves them. If you just do big boxes on both layers, oh guys, you're giving the fire stop and the taper a bad day. Okay, so stay tight with those, and try to do the same around here. Right, like this. Unfortunately, on the other layer, I was able to slip these behind, but they're easy. They're just boxes. But yeah, simple as that. And remember, with the deflection, like these screws are these should really technically be up further here. I might have been reaching around to them, but they should be right there. Hey, Max, buddy, what's happening, man? So keep your final drywall screw, you want to come down 1 inch, okay? That way there's deflection, okay? But you can see even here, I'm way far down, but that's fine. And that's what that top one is. That's in the backing, so it moves, right? Yeah, exactly. Lemon 188, a 1/4 inch gap is like, yeah, you don't want to be bigger than a 1/4 inch. So you can, 1/4 inch or less, right? And then their bead has to be a 1/4 inch thick, is what it is. Okay, so the fire stop bead itself has to be a 1/4 inch thick. So the closer and tighter you can get with your cuts, it just, you know what I mean? It just makes it so much easier for them and everything. Okay, because yeah, if you just do flat, the taper is probably going to have to be asked to tape it, to go in there and tape it. And if you know anything about drywall mud, it's like, it doesn't fill big holes like that unless you use a fast set, like a concrete fill or something like that, okay? So it's a real pain in the butt when it's so easy for you to just do it, right, at the drywall stage. But yeah, we're professionals. So down here, it's going to be a little hard. I'm going to have to figure out something in here I might have to build out, but those pipes are totally in the wall. That's going to be interesting. And of course, this other drain is in my way, so I might not be able to get my lift up there high enough. We'll see. I mean, there's always, like, that's just one of the things. Like, there's always bullshit, right? But all right, so that's that, guys. I'm done. But appreciate you guys coming. Thank you for the likes, guys. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions or you're watching the replay, leave them down in the comments, whatever, guys. I'm, like I was saying, I'm on a hotel here in Grand Prairie, so I'll just check them later on and I'll get back to you guys. For my cutout, I like very tight, but for sometimes complain if it's too tight. Yeah, so there may be specifications. I should clarify, there may be specifications on the job, especially like in hospitals or laboratories, right? Or stuff like that, especially. Even maybe in old age homes where there's like hospital type equipment, okay? You might want to check. So sometimes different pipes, different cuts, different things need different fire rating. The general contractor and the drywall contractor, if you're the drywall contractor, the general contractor will be very sure to tell you what's needed. So sometimes like there's literal mock-ups, and it shows you if you're cutting drywall around this pipe, you have to have this much space. This pipe, it has to be this much space. This thing, it has to be this. Okay, but yeah, so yeah, usually a 1/4 inch. It's really far out. Yeah, it can get kind of out of control sometimes. But yeah, if you're a 1/4 inch, you're pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, no. When I go around my I-beams and everything, yeah, I'm pretty tight. So I'm maybe within an 1/8, but an 1/8 to a 1/4 inch. Yeah, we'll say. Yeah. But yeah, unless otherwise specified, yeah, that's how it's done. Yeah, absolutely, guys. I'm trying to think. I don't think I missed anything. Do you guys think I missed anything? Oh yeah, I did. Well, so there's 2 types of bits for the router. I wanted to show you guys. So when I'm cutting, where is my router? Right here. When I'm cutting my tops, I'm always using the standard bit. Okay, the guide point gets a little squirrely. Okay, the guide point's good for cutting out boxes and stuff like that. I'm back to my SD 4500. My Hilti, my SD 5000, believe it or not, is completely rusted out. I dropped it in a pail of water. I took it out immediately, but everything rusted in it. So. I probably should have used it. I don't know, but I was on vacation for 2 weeks and stuff like that, so it sat there for a couple of weeks or 2 to 3 weeks, and yeah, it's all rusted. So I gotta get maintenance done on it. But yeah, it's crazy. I literally dropped it in a bucket of water, like my cleaning bucket from the mud. I was like, oh my god! I think I bent down. It was on my drill hook, and it popped out. Right, but. Anyways, guys, have a great rest of your day. I gotta zip. I'm gonna show you some more stuff. There's obviously bullshit in the other side there. We'll talk about that. Some of the things that the other trades getting in the way and stuff like that. Just poor planning, poor scheduling and stuff like that. But yeah, all right, guys. Yeah, Max, brother, good to see you, man. Lemon 188, awesome, dudes. Dan, right on, dude. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the likes. If you have any questions, leave them down below in comments. Check out Kronies.store, boys. Kronies.store. And you can see the clothing line I just dropped. Okay. Bye for now, guys.